Our next question is, what is your platform regarding climate change? Well, we're very serious about climate change. Oh, this comes from a student at Greenall High School in Balgony. And we're very serious about climate change. Climate change is going to be our biggest concern for our economy and for our well-being in this province than we've seen since Canada became a country. We have a higher risk of more moisture in certain seasons, but also larger periods of drought. We have the risk of prairie fires in some cases in pasture lands when those droughts hit as well. We see that in places like California, but that's coming here too. We're seeing much more severe storms, greater hailstorms. And to do that, we want to transition Saskatchewan away from our coal-burning generating plants. Right now, Saskatchewan gets most of its electricity from the coal-burning plants around Estevan. And we use lignite coal, which is the lowest quality and dirtiest coal out there in the world. So it takes a very large amount to generate the electricity we need. Well, as I brought up earlier, we want to change things so that we're transitioning to a cleaner, greener electricity generation in this province. Our wind and our solar potential in this province, we could literally be the renewable energy capital of North America if we fully tapped into those on every level. Our geothermal potential is just as high, where we can be injecting water down deep into the earth where it's hot and having it come back up as steam to power generators. And those things last. They last a long time and they last forever. We don't have the luxury, as Scott Moe would say, of switching over to nuclear reactors right now. Small modular reactors are a pipe dream. It's still 10 years at least until they're fully licensed for use. Then you're going to have all the environmental assessments, the protests, the court cases, and everything like that challenging them before you even get to the construction stage. And that's going to be another 10 years. Then you're going to take 5 to 10 years to construct them, and it's going to take time before they come fully online. By law, our coal-fired plants have to shut down in the year 2030. That's 10 years from now. We don't have 20 to 30 years to wait for nuclear reactors to come online here. We need to do something now to transition. And our plan to amend the Sask Power Act so that farmers, ranchers, and First Nations reserves could farm electricity on their land, homeowners could put solar panels or small wind turbines on their property, is a transition that we can use to meet that gap. The other thing that we want to do is develop our power storage capacity. There are things like Tesla Megapack batteries, which can hold up to 6 megawatts of power each. They're the size of a shipping container. We could be storing a large amount of our power in those. The other thing we could be doing is using electrolysis to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. And we have vast, vast reserves of underground aquifers that are too salty to use for anything regarding human or animal consumption. And we could be tapping into those reserves like the Blairmore Formation and developing them for electrolysis and then splitting that water into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen we could save for use in fabrication projects with steel and that, or welding. And the other thing, the hydrogen, we can be storing that and saving it for power generation. Use fuel cell technology to generate the power that we need when we need it. Now, the key is we don't need a centralized grid that's based on one location with coal-fired plants. We could be having gas-fired plants in smaller locations. We could be having the geothermal in smaller locations, the wind and solar farms in smaller locations. It's breaking up the grid into a bunch of smaller microgrids that feed different communities. And then when that extra power is stored and saved for later use, we don't have the dips and the crashes like they see in California. In fact, we could be selling our surplus power to California if we do this properly and if we offer a fair price to the producers of this.